far right. On the far left is Bud Supple. To my left, immediately, is Earl Murphy. We've got a very special guest. Pat White is here to enlighten us and entertain us.
You're special, all right, aren't you?
Yeah, that's,
Sorry to cut you off, Bob, but the cameras went
No,
on.
I got it. It's probably just as well.
It is a big week. This is the biggest week in Hawkeye football so far this season. The Heartland Trophy is on the line. We've got, what is Wisconsin ranked? 15?
15th. I'm
15th
surprised
ranked.
they're not higher.
Do you see Minnesota's ranked 25th?
yeah.
Sorry.
I don't
Anyway,
get it.
we've got the number one running back in the nation who just set the single game rushing record at 409 yards last week, Melvin Gordon, a former Hawkeye verbal commitment, no less, coming off his record-setting game here to Iowa City. And let's face it, I don't know how many times we've had a potential Heisman Trophy candidate playing in Iowa City, but this is one of them. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him play. Wisconsin also brings the number one ranked defense in the nation. So,
That's a little scary.
Yeah, the Hawks.
Why are they only 15th with that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, because they lost to
they lost to Northwestern.
LSU and then in the first Big Ten game to Northwestern.
Yeah.
And was that LSU game their first game of the year?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
That's what I thought.
And it was played at a neutral site,
Yeah.
wasn't
Was
it?
it Dallas?
I think it was Dallas,
Yeah.
where the Cowboys play.
And it's not a very good LSU team.
Dallas or Houston, one of the two.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think a couple of you guys said Northwestern wasn't a very good team either last week.
I still don't think they are.
They knocked out Notre
They
Dame.
did.
You know, against Northwestern, Bud, Wisconsin threw 3 interceptions. A couple of them were,
Is that what happened?
in the end zone. A couple of them.
And their
And there were a couple
their other
fumbles.
quarterback was still playing
Yes.
before they
Yeah.
could stop
Yes.
it.
And if there's an Achilles heel, it's quarterback
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
them.
But I guess why I'm making the point, you don't know who's gonna win any Saturday.
No.
Well, we got a shot.
Yeah,
We do.
that's what I mean.
You know, I was going
I
in.
think we got a real
Probably not a good shot, but
Well, we have them right where we want them. Overconfident.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
don't know if you guys watched 2 years ago, the Iowa-Wisconsin game.
Well, you know we did.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, this morning at 2 o'clock.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're kidding
we
me.
didn't watch.
On the Big Ten Network?
I was long gone, bud.
It was replayed,
I did not
where
see
they,
that.
we were ahead with
Was
the,
that the fake punt
Fake
game?
punt?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that was the fake punt.
We had that game in hand.
55 yards on that fake punt.
Yeah,
Oh.
we had it won until the fake
Bielema
punt.
changed everything with that one call.
Wasn't there like 2 minutes and 20 seconds left or something?
No.
No, it was
No.
earlier.
It was
Well, there
earlier, but
wasn't
it
too
was,
much,
it was late fourth quarter.
because they went
It
on down
wasn't-
and scored real quick.
It wasn't late.
And
in
we
the game.
got,
Oh, was it?
we got the ball
Okay.
with 1 minute and 5 seconds left.
Not after that. Really?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Well, I
We drove
trust you.
all the way around, and our coaches didn't take the time out, or they didn't have him spiked it,
Uh-huh.
and the clock ran out on us.
Oh, man, that's when we let get away.
That was so sad. I hated
Yeah.
to watch that again. I
This
thought-
is another trophy game, and
Yeah.
we've lost both trophy games so far this year.
Well, third
and-
time's the charm then.
Well, let's hope so.
Had too many trophy games.
I agree.
There are, you're right.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
they get so many trophy games, none of them mean a lot.
Yeah, it's gotten like bowls. They're just way too many.
Yeah.
Hey, how did you like the story about the Floyd of Rosedale?
It was-
How that all started, how Sandy Boyd was involved when he was an 8-year-old kid? Did you
I
see
didn't.
that?
I didn't hear about this.
You didn't see that article in
No.
Very neat story.
okay, this was in the Cedar Rapids Gazette, and it was right before we played Minnesota for the pig,
Maybe I.
and the whole thing was a bet between the governors
Right.
of each state, a live pig, okay?
Right. The
Well,
prize-winning pig.
That's right. So what we didn't know about Sandy Boyd, ex-president of the University of Iowa, and a great guy,
And my neighbor.
and your neighbor, is the fact that his dad was head of the veterinary school at the University of Minnesota. That's where he grew up.
I didn't know that.
And he graduated from the University of Minnesota and all of that and got his law degree, came here
Did
when
he
he was
hate
27 or 8 years old. But when they transferred the pig, when he was an 8-year-old kid at the state capitol in Minneapolis or St. Paul, I guess, he was there.
I didn't know that.
The live pig.
Yeah, you saw the start of it.
Yeah,
Then he got cholera and died.
but this
Not Sandy,
Pig.
pig.
this was a great article in the Cedar Rapids
Yeah, I
Gazette.
heard that too.
You saw that, buddy.
Yeah.
Do you know that the original Floyd was in the movie State Fair?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
So it's quite a history, but here's our ex-president of the University of Iowa who was there as an 8-year-old kid,
Yeah.
seeing all this going on with his affiliation, his dad's affiliation with the University of Minnesota. It's pretty nice story.
Well, and some of the motivation behind the bet and the pig was to tamp down the anger that had grown up over the way Ozzie Simmons had been battered.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Minnesota was known as a very racist
Yeah.
football program and I guess a racist state. And they brutalized Ozzie Simmons. They were terrible.
Yeah.
They were
that's right.
terrible. And ugliness was breaking out, if I recall, in a lot of these Gopher Hawkeye games.
They're getting too many.
Too many trophies?
Trophies.
Well, this is the 10th anniversary of the inaugural Heartland Trophy game. I will confess, I like the look of the trophy, the big bowl. But that's about
You
as
don't
far
like
as
the
So
I'll
it
go.
looks better than the Cy-Hawk?
Oh, I love the pig trophy. I think the Cy-Hawk trophy or whatever it's called
That's
is
terrible, yeah.
awful, and it has been. I don't even know what the Nebraska trophy's named.
Heroes.
The Heroes Trophy.
Oh, okay.
What does
yeah.
that look like?
Good question.
I think they make a hero of the team. and
It's
then
pretty
make it-
nondescript.
Well, I'd like to think we could win a couple of trophy games yet this year. This is everything that the Hawkeyes hoped for at this point in the season. It's officially late in November now, and here we are with 2 games left, 2 home games left, and the 2 opponents in our path to the West Division title are coming to Iowa City.
Well, it's why you play.
Yeah.
It's why
Yeah.
you get up at 6
Yeah.
or 5 in the morning and lift weights
Yeah.
in July and August and
Yeah.
work
Well,
so hard.
the incentive for the team and coaches should certainly be there.
It is. And who was
It
it?
should be. And
Should
sometimes you get fooled by the
Yeah.
way people handle that.
That's right.
You never know.
You never know. Last year when Melvin Gordon in Wisconsin came to town, he had a bad game and he let the fans sitting behind the Minnesota or the Wisconsin bench get in his head. They were all over him. He said after the game that they unnerved him. And he said they knew every quote he'd ever given about becoming a Hawkeye before he defected and went to Wisconsin. They did their homework, and I hope they do their homework again. If you're watching this show and sitting behind the Wisconsin bench on Saturday, do your homework, get on him.
Well, let's talk about that. What a difference that one recruit makes
Oh.
in a team. I mean, you talk about coaching, you talk about recruiting, and we talk about getting the right players. And unfortunately, this young man decided to go to Wisconsin after committing to Iowa. Wouldn't it be nice if we had him?
It would be a difference maker,
See, I
Bob.
don't-
Well, you might be sitting there at 10-0 right now.
To this day, I don't understand why our athletic department let him go,
Well,
but with an understanding you don't go.
No,
no, he-
Different deal.
That
He
wasn't the
never
way
signed
this
a letter
worked.
of intent.
His commitment to Iowa was all
okay.
verbal. It was way ahead of the
Yes.
signing date.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
see.
Well, I don't think it was way ahead, was it?
Well,
Well, it was late summer, early
His
fall.
verbal to Iowa was
Yeah.
way ahead of the signing date. He changed his mind at the last minute. I remember that. Of course, we didn't know what he would
Well, if
become.
he didn't have it signed, I see.
No.
Oh,
No, we did not have a signed letter of
Okay, I
intent.
feel a lot
That didn't
better.
happen
maybe-
until February.
we did have with Ben Brust.
Yes.
It would let him go.
Yes.
yeah.
Different story, yeah. So, big game, lot on the line for both teams. Iowa stands at 7-3 overall, 4-2 in the conference. Wisconsin is one game better at 8-2 and 5-1. And as Pat said earlier, they lost their first game of the year against LSU, and then they lost inexplicably at Northwestern.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I was walking into the women's game with my kids on Sunday, and Gary Barta was going in at the same time. And, this is the day after the game at Illinois, and we were just talking about all the upsets the day before and all the upsets throughout this Big Ten season. And it's just, how do you figure? How do you figure that
Yeah.
Northwestern goes to Notre Dame and wins after playing like just poop in Iowa City? How do you figure that Minnesota just destroys Iowa, humiliates Iowa, and before that went to Illinois and lost, where, Iowa pretty much handled them.
Well, look at Wisconsin creaming Nebraska.
Huh?
By a worse score than we got beat by Minnesota.
I don't know how a ball player can play for that coach, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was on them so bad,
He was.
and that's on TV. That's a disgrace to the.
I don't know how he can recruit when he portrays that
I
sort
don't
of
either.
image. If you're a
Right.
high school player or parents of a
Right.
high school player watching that, do you want to play for that?
I wouldn't.
And
Well, didn't he get on his defensive coordinator?
Why he got on him
Yeah.
just something. I think I would have threw the pad and
Wow.
said goodbye, Charlie.
Yeah, but you can't do that out in front of everybody.
No.
Thousands of people and millions watching on TV. It just,
It was
do
defensive
it behind
line
the scenes, I guess, if you have to do it.
His defensive line coach is still Rick Kaczynski, who was here.
Former Hawkeye coach,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
who
right.
was a yeller and a screamer,
Yes, he was.
and chased a
But
few
in
Hawkeye
a
players
different
away.
way. He was not angry. He was not an angry yeller like Bo Pelini seems to be.
I don't think so, yeah.
No.
I don't-
You think he is?
No, I don't think he is like Pelini, but I know that
But he's a yeller.
he screamed and swore at the players a lot, and several players quit because of him. That much I know. But it seems like ancient history now. And, to be true, you've got a lot of coaches on the
See-
Hawkeye sideline who are barking at
to
their
me,
kids.
After he got done screaming at these players and things, they really went downhill. Their whole team would just act like they, sometimes they didn't even make an attempt to tackle the guy.
Well,
They
that's
started
kind of-
out the game ahead 17-3.
That's right.
That's what's so hard to explain. I tuned into that, and I saw that, and I went, oh, geez, I'm
Yeah.
not sure I like that. And tuned back in, and Wisconsin's up big. And I tuned in again just in time to see his record-breaking run. And that was all within 3 quarters. He didn't even play the fourth quarter.
That's amazing.
That's 100-plus yards per quarter. He's really something. And
That's one of the best performances I've ever seen. I mean, I didn't watch the whole game live. I watched maybe a third of it, and then I watched highlight film of all of his 408
Yeah,
yards.
that was
and
the best.
It's just very impressive. He, one carry that I especially remember is he'd run 15 or 20 yards, and he had 20 more to go to the end zone, and he just bowled people over.
Sean Green style.
Just, yeah.
Well, would have we done that if they were up to par, Nebraska?
Well-
I don't think Nebraska's.
At some point,
If
Nebraska
they
must
are,
have quit.
we should
defense
be
was-
able to beat them.
And the announcers were saying live during the game that Nebraska's quarterback is a weak position and that they're just not the team you're used to seeing. They're beatable,
Yeah, they are
Nebraska.
beatable.
But
That's right.
we have to beat Wisconsin to make that Nebraska game worth more than just a stinking heroes trophy.
Well, and somebody has to beat Minnesota, too.
Yeah, well, Ohio State's
Well, they
probably
played
gonna-
at Nebraska.
Oh, I'm
Saturday.
sorry, that's it.
Minnesota
Nebraska.
plays at
Yeah,
Nebraska.
they flip-flop with us.
Yeah, and then who does Minnesota end up with? Wisconsin?
Wisconsin?
Hee-hee.
At Wisconsin?
Yeah,
So,
and that's a trophy game for them.
yeah,
So a
Minnesota's
jug or
gonna have
axe or
trouble
something.
winning these last 2 weeks, probably.
Yeah, I'm confident they're going to go down. So Saturday's game is at 2:30. We finally get a 2:30 start, Earl.
Yeah.
And it's on ABC, so we get a broadcast network finally. I don't think we've had a broadcast network game all season.
No.
No, this is just in the region.
Yeah, but if it's
But
not, if you're
ESPN
outside the
picks up-
region, it's ESPN.
ESPN picks up the
Yeah.
rest of the nation.
So wherever you are, you're going to be able to see it. My
Right.
mom is already tickled.
But the following week, it's on
ABC,
national.
yeah, that's ABC National,
Yeah.
everywhere. Pat was at last week's game, gentlemen, at Champaign. Was that not the first time you've been to?
No, I've been there before.
Yeah.
I really like the Illinois Memorial Stadium.
I do too.
It's built following World War I as a memorial to the Illinois students who
Yep.
died in the war. And they've got a plaque listing them all. But it's, once you get inside, it's compact in a way that's comparable to Kinnick. It's colorful. Just the way it's designed inside, a lot of blue and orange, of course.
Sure.
But it's still colorful.
I haven't been
I-
there for a while.
I think
Pat.
their
Do they have
band
the
is great. No,
They don't have the track
No.
record. Okay.
I think their band is great, and they put on just a terrific halftime performance that you never see when you watch TV.
And what's too bad, they don't have Chief Alanowick anymore at
Well,
the halftime show.
They, at the end of the halftime performance, they play the music that he would dance to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
But he's not out there.
It was a
of course.
very emotional moment when he would come sneaking
Oh,
through
yeah.
that band and
Yeah.
jump out there at
It
the end of the
was.
halftime performance. And I'm telling you, as a kid who grew up in Illinois, that was the thing you look forward to because Illinois football stunk.
Yeah.
And
Still does.
I can still recall visions as a little kid of these old men on a cold day. I can still see the snot running down their nose, and they'd be sitting there sipping their flask, and I forget the cheer, not Skyuma, but that's Minnesota. There's a
You have to be careful when
Oski
you talk
Wawa.
about old men.
Yeah, something like
Well,
that.
I was probably 6, 7 years old, hanging on with my dad, and
Yeah. yeah.
I think they were doing the Oski Wawa cheer, and I remember Chief coming out there, and it was just hair raising.
I'd love to watch him.
Yeah.
A couple of interesting things
Yeah.
about Saturday. I've not heard of this day in years. It was Dad's Day at Illinois. I mean, almost every school in the country has gone to Parents' Day instead of Dad's
Very
Day.
true.
But they brought all the dads out at halftime toward the end of the show and had them do a line dance, kicking their legs in the air.
Really?
Oh, it was great.
But that was good.
They said they had fireworks at halftime. It was
Really?
did
Yeah.
a neat job.
Well, that's a nice touch.
How was the crowd?
Well, it was announced at 50,000. I don't think it was that big.
Pretty close.
It was one of those crowds that at 10 minutes before kickoff, you're thinking, holy smokes, and then it filled in.
And
they-
what's it hold?
Illinois
Seems
holds.
to me it's 60-something,
It's-
65.
Yeah, upper
Yeah.
60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the same as Iowa's.
A lot of Iowa fans, I'd say
How many you
probably,
think, Pat?
I'd say 15,000.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
And at the end of the game, the
Yeah.
team did the thing that the Iowa fans love. They run over to
Yeah.
the section where their parents are, and most
Yeah.
of the Iowa fans are, and high-five them along the railing and then sing the fight song. And
Yep.
It was neat.
I've been there for many a rendition of that in
Yep, me
the
too.
Illinois Stadium.
The other thing that is a takeaway for me and shows how things have changed. My sister actually arranged for the tickets
Yeah.
online not through StubHub, but something similar to StubHub. And we had 4 seats on the 50-yard line.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I literally was straddling the 50-yard line,
Yeah.
40 rows up.
Oh,
Do you know what she paid for them?
Yeah, it was, we paid like $60, 61, 62.
That's
And
right
that-
at face value.
And that includes a $10 or $15 fee for similar to StubHub. I'm sorry, I can't remember the agency, but
Yeah, yeah.
they charge a handling fee.
What are Iowa tickets?
For these kind of
For Big
games,
Ten games, I
70,
think they're
75.
70s.
I think this game is 70. Isn't it?
For all tickets?
No, they charge different amounts for the games. Nebraska, Wisconsin were premium games. I think Iowa State was also a premium priced
Yeah.
game. And those were 70 or 75.
But every seat in the stadium is that price except the student seats.
Right.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You don't have the option to buy a $40 seat or a $50 seat.
Now, my friends that went to the game said that most of the Illinois fans were leaving at halftime.
Well, I wouldn't say halftime, but certainly you could see an exodus start at the end of the third quarter. At halftime, remember, it was 9-7.
Yeah.
And I said, are you
I'm
sure
sitting
they're
there
leaving? I said,
Thinking, well,
Sure shouldn't have been
this is not
9-7.
good, because we've left about
Oh,
17
my.
points on the board.
Yeah.
I wonder if they let their fans out at halftime like we used to at
You know,
Kinnick.
I couldn't tell that.
That's what I wondered. 'Cause he was
Be
telling me,
surprised.
texting me at halftime that their fans are leaving.
They didn't in Minnesota. Any game I've been, you don't get out of the stadium.
You don't? I think
They'll tell you-
Indiana lets
You
you
can
out.
get out, but you can't come back.
Indiana,
Well-
I'm told, lets you out. My sister,
Yeah.
Really?
my nephew just graduated from there, and they made a point to go into a lot of games, and she said, you can go out and come back in. We go out and eat and have a beer and then go back in. And,
Might as well.
yeah, yeah.
This is what they try to stop.
Yeah.
A lot of the students will go out there and then stay out of second half and drink
Well-
and so forth.
So how was traffic getting in and out of the game?
Decent.
Did you tailgate?
No, we actually stayed in Bloomington and
Oh,
drove
yeah.
over to the game. We tailgated in
My
the
dad's
hotel
hometown.
on Friday night and Saturday after the game.
I wish I'd known you were
So
going to
set up.
Bloomington. I would have sent you to the greatest pizza and Italian restaurant ever. The Luca Grill on the corner of Main and whatever in Bloomington.
Yeah, I don't think we'd have gone for pizza.
Oh, it's so good there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good there.
But it
Anyway,
was about less than an hour drive to
Yeah.
where we parked in Champaign.
and it's on the way home.
People I talked to who came right back after the game said the Peoria for about 50 miles, both sides of Peoria, was a terrible drive.
I
Yeah,
talked,
that's what I
Day
heard.
back.
I talked to 5 different people that had to pull over at Galesburg or Knox.
Yeah,
Why?
snow.
Snow.
Oh,
Snow and ice.
Cars in the
Sheet of-
ditches
sheet of
and
ice
stuff,
on the
yeah.
interstate.
Yeah.
I'll be
Oh,
darned.
snow.
Did
Yeah.
you stay all night Saturday night?
Yeah.
Yeah, good move.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
move.
But Nate was one of them, he had to pull over, and then the Vandenbergs had to pull over,
Oh, really?
and,
I think Bill and Deb Brandt pulled over, I think, in, what was it, Peoria or Davenport?
yeah,
Well,
okay.
there were a lot of smiles coming on Iowa fans' faces coming out of the game.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
That
We
fourth
needed
quarter,
that.
Felt great.
We
man,
needed that. That
as
was-
frustrating as that first half was
Yeah.
to watch, the second half was really rewarding to see
Yeah.
Hamilton get, Ray Hamilton, tight end, got his first 2 career touchdowns.
That was a surprise to hear
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I guess
Well,
Kirk was
good.
surprised when he
They haven't
heard
been
it.
thrown
Yeah.
to him.
Well, yeah, they haven't been thrown to tight ends very much all year. And so it was nice to see them
Yeah.
re-enter the picture. And you got to believe that they're going to try to use these tight ends against Wisconsin. I would think that would be one of our few vantage points against the Badgers.
Well, they're only giving up, what, a total of 244 yards a game. That's, but all it takes is a couple breaks,
Scratch where it itches.
That's
You know,
right.
you know, the highlight of the Illinois game for me, and it was not decisive in terms of the outcome of the game, was Beathard's pass to Powell. That was an NFL pass and catch,
I'm so glad you said that. Now,
but just on a rope.
it had to be perfect. That throw had to be.
Line of scrimmage was about the 20, and he threw it from about the 30, just a rope into the sideline of the end zone.
Yeah. And that's coming off the bench
And
cold.
I thought, well, Powell is covered.
Uh-huh.
That ball's gonna get batted down, and Powell's got some hops. He went up and caught it with 2 hands.
And this is Powell's
Was
senior
brilliant.
year. Yeah.
He's got 2
Well,
three.
that's one thing about Beathard. It doesn't take him long when he's in the game
My
to go vertical.
goodness.
No,
He'll go downfield.
No,
He
his
was so
first
good.
pass was
Yeah.
about 40 yards down the east side line to Doozy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, Pat, from your vantage point, and guys, if you were watching the game, I thought Rudock got hurt on his last play of the game when he ran in for the touchdown ahead of, I think, Hamilton or one of the tight ends.
Hamilton.
He looked like he
Yeah.
got bent the wrong way, and when he got up, at least on TV, he wasn't right. He wasn't limping, but
limping a little.
it was like his back hurt.
Announcers mention it.
Did they?
So
Did
that
you
was
see
the
that,
last
Pat?
play that he played.
Right,
That was it.
That was the last
he
play.
played.
And then they brought Beathard in.
Yes.
And he wasn't limping that much, but I mean, you could tell that he got hit hard.
Well, I haven't heard anything since that game about Rudock being injured.
Well, I
Well,
don't know if you'd call it.
he's had some injuries and he could
Yeah.
have tweaked something,
Yeah.
You know, we another highlight, a shock to me, because, I follow Iowa football closely, and we've all grumbled about how conservative our offense is at times. Into the first half, minute and 41 seconds to go, we get the ball on our own 10-yard line. It's classic, Kirk Ferentz, take a knee.
Take a knee.
Take a knee and go in. We're ahead 9-7. We come out throwing the ball.
Yeah.
March down the field to get within range, and Kane
Not
hits
close.
the
Or
upright.
not- Yeah.
Well, it was close.
I should,
but-
yeah.
And it was a long
I was
attempt.
surprised
Yeah.
he brought him in to kick the field goal.
I just couldn't believe we're willing to, the offense is totally different than
Yeah.
it.
And I look for more of the same against Wisconsin. They're going to have to open up the kitchen
Well,
sink.
unless they get ahead. If they get ahead, they'll probably try to
We
take
didn't have
the
much
air.
success on fourth downs. That bothered me a little bit, especially that,
Well,
that first time
the
we had an
Weissman
opportunity to
runs.
score. But then I guess it was, we were fourth, and was it 5 or something on the 6 or 7 yard line? Your chances there are pretty slim. I was surprised they went for it.
Yeah.
Didn't kick the field goal. But
And we could have
I
used
was
it right
too.
there.
yeah, right there.
I was
It's
very
interesting, some of their choices, but most of the fourth downs for the season, I think we've probably been more
We've been
successful
very
than not.
successful.
Yeah, so,
One of the things, again, that was unusual is we lost fumbles twice
Snaps.
and still won. One snap.
Yeah.
Two fumbles on snaps, one
One
we lost
lost,
and one
yeah.
we recovered. And then Akram Wadley fumbled again.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think we'll see much of him in the
That
next
was
2
troublesome.
games. Yeah. He's played in 3 games and fumbled in every one.
Well, we should also note that Mark Weissman ran for 134 yards, and let's see, did he get 100 yards last week also?
No, this is
The first
No,
time?
This was the first one.
First
He
time.
came close last game, that was it.
yeah, it was like
He had
94
96.
yards.
97,
Yeah,
yeah, 94.
yeah.
He,
This was the first time.
he had some big holes to run through, and let's be honest, that was a really bad Illinois team.
Very true.
Oh, my. I was reading Lauren Tate today. He's the longtime Champaign Gazette sports writer who never has anything good to say about Iowa. He's perpetuated the ill feelings. But in this article, he wasn't detracting of Iowa, but he said that's it for Beckman. There's just no hope for him coming back. And he just talked about all the things that Iowa did to Illinois last Saturday. He was pretty factual, and he said it didn't matter if Rudock was in there or Beathard was in there, whether they were passing or rushing. They pretty much did what they wanted to do, and there were only a few highlights, and one was the goal line defensive stand. The other was that touchdown pass to, was it Dudek from Illinois?
Yeah, they're fresh.
Fresh.
We're gonna see a lot of him.
Oh, yeah.
He's fast and he's got good hands.
That was a
But
pretty
nobody
catch.
recruited.
Yeah.
Who's this?
Illinois
Illinois'
accidentally ran
wide
over.
He's got
receiver,
this
Dudek.
freshman wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's only 5'11", but
He's almost 900 yards in reception.
he's gonna be, he
Yeah.
already is good.
And
Yeah.
guys, that was a circus catch he made. It was beautiful.
He was covered.
Yes, absolutely covered by
Desmond
Loudermilk. Oh, was it King?
Yeah, King had him.
Yeah, and he's from Naperville, Illinois.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it was a great win. It was really
Yeah.
one to savor after such a bitter defeat in Minneapolis the week before. Wish that was a trophy game. We'd have a lot of trophies right now. The Wisconsin-Iowa series couldn't be much more even. The first game was played in 1894. I don't think Earl was at that game, were you?
No.
But I think Wisconsin has won 43 times, Iowa 42 times, and then there are 2 ties in the series. It'd be nice to even it up this Saturday, shock the Badgers, send their red-clad fans home sad. That would be nice. It's a blackout game, so wear black if you're going. I don't think they're going to have red pom-poms this year.
We hope
Why,
not.
why not?
We hope not.
Oh, Joe Murphy got a kick out of that one.
It's supposed to be a little warmer. Chance of rain.
Chance of rain, I don't like to see that, but we're supposed to get around 40 degrees Saturday, and boy, that's going to feel balmy after the last 2
That's
weeks
right.
we've been through. And we're not through it yet either. It's only Wednesday. So we got to keep moving here. There's so many Hawkeye events to talk about, not to mention Regina, and we're going to get to that pretty soon. The Hawkeye men opened up their regular season with a couple of wins last week. They beat North Dakota State University on Monday. That was this week. And they beat Hampton on Friday. I think both games the opponents scored 56 or 8 points. The Hawks had 90 one night and I think 87 the other night. I can't remember.
Yep.
They've done well. They've done well for the first couple games, but it's early. They're going to get a real test tomorrow night, 6 p.m. on, what network are we on?
ESPN2.
ESPN2, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Number 10, Texas versus Iowa at Madison Square Garden. That's exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. Texas is really good.
They were ranked 10th, right?
Yes.
this week? Yeah.
They've got a real quick point guard. They've got some big, strong guys. Typical Texas team. Rick Barnes is their coach. So that'll be a lot of fun. And we actually get to watch it on TV.
Now, so the other two teams in that Madison Square Garden are who?
Syracuse and Cal Berkeley.
Okay.
Cal Berkeley.
So we're going to play one of those depending on who wins.
That'll be Friday night. Yep.
Okay.
And the game will be either at 6 or probably 8:30. A lot going on this weekend.
Who sponsors this?
Well, it's a Wounded Warriors promotion fundraiser, and
Okay.
I'm not sure who the sponsor is, but the proceeds go to Wounded Warriors.
Okay.
It's called the 2K Wounded Warriors Classic or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a pretty good honor for those kids.
Oh, very much
Be able to
so.
go to Madison.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
no, it'd be a big thrill for them.
Yeah.
And all four of these teams are highly
It's
regarded.
good basketball.
Yeah, Cal's always
Yeah.
got good basketball. Well,
for-
usually.
Speaking of good basketball, did you catch any of Kentucky and Kansas
Oh.
last night?
A wee bit.
Kentucky, I can't imagine, if they play like they did last night, I mean, season just started, I can't imagine anybody beating
I
them.
don't either,
They
because
looked
their
unbelievable.
reserves are as good as.
Well,
He doesn't even call them reserve.
Yeah.
I know.
Calipari calls them reinforcements.
this morning on ESPN,
Yeah.
they were saying that, Kentucky's ranked number 1 for a reason, but they said their second team could easily be ranked number 2.
Okay.
Well, do you remember the point guard on that substitute team? Tyler Eulis, who almost came here.
Is
Yeah.
that right? I didn't
Yeah.
He
know
was
that.
coming here until Calipari showed up.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Kid out of Chicago.
Yeah.
Well, it's a nice NBA factory they got running down there at Kentucky.
Well, and a couple of, some of these kids, they're usually one and done, but there were about 3 or 4 of them that stayed,
Got a
for
couple to
like
come
Tyler, for their sophomore year.
Oh, he's
No,
a
this is
freshman.
freshman year.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is freshman
But that-
year. Okay,
that- they're
but,
Tall center
they
is back.
retained a few players that did not leave,
They did.
so which makes his team a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Not that he needs it, but,
And then Michigan State got beat by Duke last night. I saw a piece of that game.
yeah.
I did too, and I don't think Michigan State,
No,
don't
they'll
get
be-
me wrong, it's gonna be as strong this
No,
year.
they can't be. They've lost
Right, they
enough.
lost
Yeah.
They'll be down, but
They'll be back.
they'll be competitive.
That coach is the whiner.
Izzo?
Oh, yeah.
Izzo, yeah.
Whiner.
Always.
In the
Oh,
So
it's-
is Krzyzewski.
Oh, the worst.
Right.
Yes.
He whines.
Oh, yeah, he does.
And speaking of
But I
games,
like
did
you.
you see, did you watch
Whines.
Stanford and UConn women?
I didn't see that.
Wow.
Everybody
No.
who did says it was one of the great games
It
ever.
was.
But I
Who is
didn't-
this?
Stanford hosted UConn women the other night. I don't think it was last night, it was the night
A
before.
couple nights ago. Broke their
Yeah.
winning streak.
But that
Well,
was in,
Beat UConn in overtime.
in California?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was in Stanford.
How did Stokes?
She
did
didn't
Stokes go?
play much.
Yeah,
I mean, I watched off and on, and UConn had a fairly commanding lead throughout the game. And next thing my son and I realized, it's going into overtime, and Stanford won. They played at Palo Alto. I mean, both teams are loaded.
Now, where's Stokes at?
She's at UConn.
Connecticut.
senior.
She's a
Yeah.
senior now,
Yeah.
and she doesn't start,
No.
and she didn't play much. And in fact, she was in at the end of the game. And what did she do? She didn't have a huge mistake or turnover, but she had an opportunity, I think, to put the game away with a rebound and let the ball go through her hands. And Stanford got it, put it up, and
Well, we know
went
where
ahead.
she could have played a lot more, right?
Oh my! I keep
I see
thinking
where
that.
Right, Pat?
Lowhouse's kid
Yeah.
made it big time for you and I.
You and I had a big win
Yes.
yesterday
Yeah.
morning in
Yeah.
overtime after being behind, and
He
Wyatt
played quite a
Lowhouse.
bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he played
Had
it.
11 points.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
came off the bench, but he played quite a bit.
It's 6 people in double figures.
I didn't
for
see how
Northern Iowa.
I didn't see how the Morgan kid did. The other West High,
He didn't have a real good game.
No.
didn't he?
But Lowell House,
Are you going to say anything about the Regina situation?
I am.
All right.
The situation, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, back to Hawkeye men's basketball. Thursday and Friday night, the game is on ESPN2 Thursday night. We'll wait to see. I don't know what it's going to be on Friday. I'm just glad it's not on ESPN3. We still have.
Have you tried to get ESPN?
Yeah, you have to pay for it. I finally called Mediacom and said, okay, I've got your entire sports package and I can't get it. I don't know what my password is. And they said, well, you have to pay $3.95 a month for ESPN3.
It's ridiculous.
I said, well, you've told me everything I needed to know. And I hung up.
$3.95 for the whole month?
Every month. Yeah, you got to make a commitment. You can't just buy it for 1 month.
I
Why?
refuse to give Mediacom any more money
Same
than
here.
we already do.
I'm paying them
It's ridiculous.
$195 a month for my cable and internet. And I can't get
Boy,
ESPN3.
like I'd pay the $3.95 and they'd go off the air.
Yeah.
They're off the air more than anything.
I know it.
Yeah.
I don't have too much trouble with them going out.
We
but,
do.
We do too.
But and I'm not blaming me. It's not Mediacom. It's ESPN. It's I don't care where you are, what cable service you have. If you have Dish, you can't get ESPN3 at all because Dish doesn't offer it. And it's the same with the KCRG substation. If you have a
Yeah,
Dish
that's the one
service,
that's sad.
you're not going to get any of these high school games like Regina's last weekend.
Or even during the season, they always pick up a pretty good.
They do.
Yeah,
they
they do,
have.
yeah.
Yeah, they really do. KCRG does a really nice job with their high school sports coverage, and it's not the
And they're
best
gonna
video.
They're gonna do it in basketball too.
Right.
I mean, it's a
Right.
station that'd be worth the money to
Yeah.
pay.
So yeah, we'll get to watch them, but I hate to tell you, Monday night's game next week, it's back to ESPN3, and we've still got a handful of games in December that are going to be ESPN3. What really rankles me is the university put out at the beginning of the season, and I reported it right here on this show a couple weeks ago, that we're going to be able to see
Someone called
every
me
game
and
on
said, "Why
TV.
did Dirk tell us we're gonna see every game?"
That's what the university put out this year for the first
Technically,
time.
they're right.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah, that's right, they're available, right, Pat?
Somebody's phone is going
Not
out.
mine.
I'm guessing that's Bud.
I don't think so.
No? Is that Joe? Well, let it go.
Yeah.
It'll die out.
Yeah.
So the Iowa women also are off to a 2-0 start. They beat a very good Robert Morris team, a team full of international players. They had 2 players from Spain, 1 from Greece, 1 from, I want to say, Argentina, I believe 1 from Canada.
One from the Congo.
Yeah, 1 from the Congo.
Wow.
They were.
I don't know how
I'm
you
telling
recruit that.
These
How do
were
you do that?
These were tough women, and they went to the NCAA tournament last year and did fairly well. It's not the same team this year. They had some turnover, but they hung with Iowa for 3/4 of the game. It was nip and tuck. Iowa had the lead, the whole game, but it was a 2-point, 4-point, 5-point lead, and they just couldn't put this team away until late in the game when Robert Morris got in foul trouble and Iowa started hitting free throws.
And Robert
Robert
Morris shot very
Morris.
poorly, didn't they?
It's usually a pretty
Anyway.
good team in girls basketball.
Yeah, these-
It's not an easy.
No, they were good. They were real
Yeah.
good. This Iowa women's team is really impressive. They are just loaded. Their bench is strong.
And they play that way.
For a change. They've had depth problems for several years.
Good point.
This year, they've got some depth.
They really do.
If the upperclassmen weren't so good, these 4 freshmen would be playing even more than they are.
Good point.
They're playing a lot now. but-
And I think the freshmen, when they come in, Whitney Jennings has looked a little shaky, not hitting her shots.
Our shots off. I don't know what's,
But these other gals, they come in and they look supremely confident. They look experienced. And I think they do a really good job. I really enjoy watching them. My
For
kids.
women, they're really hustle. Every one of them
Yeah, they do.
hustle
They
and
run.
rebound.
I couldn't keep
I
up
think
with
this
them.
is the best recruiting class we've had since the current
Who's
seniors.
a small?
You got to remember too that the senior class, Sam Logic, Beth Doolittle, Melissa Dixon, came in with Virginia Johnson as
Oh, yeah.
another
That's
member
right.
who had to give this
What a
sport
shame.
up.
A
Yeah.
little blonde that plays
Whitney
guard.
Jennings.
Whitney Jennings,
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Logan
can-
Sport, Indiana.
Yeah, she moves well.
Oh, she's fast.
Lisa describes her as the quickest player she's ever coached.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
She was quick.
Oh, Earl, she's a treat to watch run the floor. She plays good defense. I think she puts herself in good positions, both defensively and offensively. She just hasn't been hitting her shots yet. And she looks a little frustrated, but I don't think she's played a physical style like this very often.
How
And,
tall is she, Pat,
Five-
really?
5'5".
Yeah, 5'5".
Is that legit?
It's pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you've been next to these girls and.
Well,
spent
I
time.
know,
Listen,
Whit's a friend of mine. I've known Whit for about 5 years.
Yeah.
I got to meet her when you introduced
Yeah.
us when she was probably a sophomore
Yeah.
in high school.
Lisa offered
that
her a
right?
scholarship after
Yeah.
her freshman year.
Yeah, wow.
And her mom is my Facebook friend. And does she have a sister playing
At
In-
Bethel.
at Bethel?
And she has a younger brother who's a sophomore this year for the boys' team
Yeah.
at Logan Sport. He was their starting point guard last year.
Really? As a freshman?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I enjoy just watching
Yeah,
their mom's Facebook page and the things that she puts up there. It really keeps you informed and in the loop. Speaking of in the loop, the Hawkeye women are hosting their Hawkeye Challenge this weekend. They've got Pepperdine on board Friday night. That game is 7 o'clock.
No,
No.
7:30.
7:30, thank
Because it's
you.
a tournament, the first game starts at 5,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
a half hour, but we assume it'll end at 7, and then a half hour later, the
No.
Iowa starts, and parking will be at
Oh, I was just going to
One
say.
of
Total
those are on the
disaster.
Big Ten Network.
oh,
No,
yeah.
they're
What is?
they're both going to
They're-
be on Channel 22
Oh,
connections.
okay.
MediaCom.
Okay.
You have to have cable, MediaCom cable, to get the women's game this week, and it's on Connections 22.
both Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
But parking will still be a problem Saturday, because the game will end about 6,
Oh, boy, yeah.
and people will not leave immediately, and,
You can't leave
well, it
immediately.
depends, probably depends some on how the outcome of the game.
Yeah, if the Hawks are down 30 at
But,
halftime.
So I don't know why they did Friday and Saturday
Yeah.
instead of Saturday, Sunday, but
Yeah.
still would be a problem on Saturday
And
night.
that's not all. You've got the Hawkeye Wrestling Iowa City Duels on Friday at Carver Hawkeye. That starts at 9 a.m. And then, let's see, 9,
Is that still going Sunday? Could that-
no, it's Friday
Just a
morning
one-day
only.
d-
Just
yeah.
It's
one day.
back-to-back-to-back duels.
Okay,
And they're going to be hosting Baker, which is a Missouri NAIA college. They're going to be hosting the Iowa Central Community College, and then Cornell College from Mount Vernon. First duel's at 9, I think the second one's at 10, and I think the next one's at
But
11.
that is Friday.
That's all Friday
So it'll
morning.
be all done for when the
The arena.
tailgaters
I
start bringing
think it'll be over by 2 p.m.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we got to talk about Regina. Regina had a football game last weekend. Bud was there
Sure was.
at the Unidome, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Which
Oh, did we
did
win?
did
I'll
Regina
tell you.
win?
Sure
Holy
did.
cow. Now this is their opponent was South Winneshiek, the number 2 ranked school in 1A. They hadn't lost a game all year. They had rolled over all of their opponents all year.
Yeah.
Opening kickoff, Regina takes the ball, returns it for a 90-yard touchdown.
14 seconds,
Nick Phillips.
Yeah.
Phillips. And he twisted around there. Now, get the, he had a twist that opened the other side and he went.
Yeah. Nice moves, open field moves, right to
But I've
midfield.
never, and I watched Mars Boyd for 4 years in basketball, and he was just great. You talk about getting passes into, I mean, he just throws that ball, and if he don't throw it, he runs it right down the center.
Well, there are a lot of set plays for him to run the ball up the gut.
Okay,
And you could see they called that quite often. But that first drive, the first possession, I should say, Regina had, Drew Cook never threw the ball once.
no, I know.
It was run, 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 run. They softened up that line and scored.
And they did have a good line.
Yeah. But the difference in the game was the line play. Regina is just, they're at a whole other level than any of their 1A opponents when it comes to line play, because they've got Alex Canellis in the weight room, and he knows how to not only teach these kids how to lift, but he knows how to teach speed training and nutrition. You don't see a belly on one of those Regina linemen. And they just manhandled South Winnesheek's line, both offensive and defensive.
And another one that's being overlooked, I think, because you don't hear it,
Joe.
is Adams,
The
Jacob
kicker?
Adam, the kicker.
a kicker.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the security guards up there told me that he's been doing the high school and there's never been a guy that kicks the ball completely out of the end zone.
15?
And he hits the wood boards that are up there.
Now, he didn't kick everyone. Every kickoff was not a touchback this game. One of them was right to the goal line, and the kid caught it on the goal line. Because in high school, if the ball goes in the end zone,
Yeah.
you can't run it out, period. And
Yeah.
there were 2 times where the kid caught it right on the goal line. He was on the proper side, and he made like a Willie Mays catch and tried to run it back to no avail.
See, if they've only had him 2 years.
Adam, yeah.
Yeah, he was out for soccer and Marv Big
He didn't come out as a
No.
freshman or sophomore?
But he is an all-stater in soccer.
Yeah.
I have to believe, I want to believe, that Iowa is keeping their eye on this kid, because he is just phenomenal. It's not just kickoffs. His field goal accuracy and the depth of his field goals is stunning for any high school kid, let alone a 1A school. Those kickoffs alone make such a difference in high school. And that
And, you
team
know, I
has to
don't
set
care
up on the
if you take
20.
1A, 2A, 3A, if you got a bunch of coaches like we have,
Yeah.
just give me 80 people, that's how many dresses, give me those 80 and I'll make him into football players.
Yeah,
And this is what they do.
they do, and they
That
do it
Dumont is
repeatedly.
just fantastic.
He's a difference
No.
maker.
Those 2 Brinkmans aren't too bad.
No.
The Brinkman boys,
Oh,
Jared
yeah,
and
he's
Jake.
good. I mean, he's already got a scholarship.
Where's he going? North Dakota?
North Dakota State or?
State, yeah, the
And
one
that's
that's real good.
Yeah, that's North Dakota State, perennial
Yeah.
national
But he could
champ.
change his mind on that too. He's just,
Yeah.
nothing in writing.
Right.
And I understand that the cook and him been over at
Oh, yeah?
Iowa stuff pretty much, you know.
Good.
You know, I imagine they want him for a walk-on. And then I did hear that Cook will be redshirted.
Yeah.
Might as well.
But,
Put
yeah.
some meat on his bones.
Yeah.
Well, with the quarterback situation the way it is, assuming he still wants to play quarterback, which I think he can do at Iowa.
I think he
Yeah,
will.
they need to redshirt him next year at Iowa, yeah.
He looks like a college quarterback. He looks like an Iowa quarterback in the classic NFL drop back stance.
He does.
But he
Got
can
it
run
all. Yes.
also.
After 3 weeks, you can't do it right away, but 3 weeks, I want, if you guys got time, go out there and watch him in basketball.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be out there with my boys and daughter.
I mean, the kid is, he's gonna run all over the,
His speed is deceptive. He's 6 feet 5 inches. I'm not sure what his weight is.
I've seen him. I think he's a Division I basketball player
Oh,
yeah.
if he wanted to be.
yeah,
I agree.
that's what I do too, that's what I.
He's terrific.
And I can't wait to
Who's
see him
this?
play basketball. Drew Cook.
Drew Cook.
Oh, he's something special. And I think he's taller than he was last year at basketball
Well, I
season.
think he's heavier too.
Well, he
he's getting
should
some
be.
Well,
weight
I'm
on
sure
him.
he's put on some weight.
Last
through
year he was pretty
conditioning.
skinny.
This
up
kid
there.
runs like a gazelle. He has got a burst in him that is just exceptional. And again, you don't see it from quarterbacks, let alone 1A quarterbacks. It's really something. Now, Regina's going to play for the state title on Friday morning at 11 a.m. That game, again, will be on the KCRG substation. They call it 9.2, but if you've got Mediacom, it's channel 109. And I thought they did a really good job, whoever the state network was that had the feed.
108.6.
They did a really good
Oh.
job of bringing that Regina game last, and all the high school football games last weekend. I really enjoyed watching them.
Did you watch Cedar Rapids, Washington?
I did.
They couldn't figure out who Paul James was.
I saw that.
They didn't know head coach was sitting a few feet away from him in the press box. And they
Oh, is that
They
right?
kept
kept showing one of the
this young guy,
assistants
yeah.
saying, Coach
Oh.
James is doing this and that, and it wasn't Paul James.
Cedar Rapids, Washington did a very good job of coming back against a very good Bettendorf
Yeah,
team.
they did.
It looked like Wash couldn't figure things out in the first half, but they did, and turned that game around and shut Bettendorf down. So now they have the challenge of facing
Dowling.
West Des Moines Dowling.
Yes.
Which Iowa fans should watch, because that's the other
other quarterback.
quarterback who is
Yeah.
verbal to Iowa, is
And
Dowling's
they look
quarterback,
awful.
who won the state championship last year. And
Right.
I think
I'm
he went
guessing
to-
somebody's gonna have to change positions.
Didn't he come from Newton?
The Boyle kid,
I don't know
I
that.
haven't
thought
heard
the
that,
Boyle
Earl.
kid, they talked about him not playing quarterback, playing a D-back. Is that, or
Never
recruit
know.
him as an athlete?
I heard it.
Yeah, no, he's an awfully good quarterback.
Well, we've
Yeah.
got the other kid, the other quarterback from that class from Chicagoland who got benched.
Yeah, he did. No longer starting for his.
Oh,
high
is
school.
that right?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a big guy, 6'6"
Benevetti.
or something?
Yeah. Beneveni. He got benched
Wow.
late in the season.
Now, you know,
That's not good.
No.
the team that Regina plays
South,
won the 2A last year.
yes, South
They were
Lion,
moved down to 1A.
or West Lion, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
they did?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
West Lion, now listen to this. Regina's going for their unprecedented fifth straight title. No school in the history of Iowa football has ever done that. West Lion has reached the title game with a 17-7 win over defending 1A runner-up Fort Dodge St. Edmund, who Regina beat last year in the title game. And that was a really good, well-contested game.
Now,
West Lion has won 12 straight games this year since opening the season with a 49-14 loss to Central Lion George Little Rock.
Okay.
From Arkansas, where?
No, I think it's northwest Iowa, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in Lyon County,
Yeah,
right near Rock Rapids.
okay.
So West
West
Lion won the 2A championship?
Yes,
Yeah,
Okay.
and they moved down.
they moved down.
So they're going
This
to be
is
a worthy opponent, but
LeVar Woods School.
good point. Former Hawkeye and current Hawkeye coach,
Yes.
former NFL linebacker LeVar Wood. Is it Wood or Woods?
Woods.
Woods. A well thought of guy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came from this high school that Regina will be facing on Saturday morning or Friday morning.
Another thing on there, if Regina wins, it'll be 69 out of 70 games.
Something.
I mean, that's just
It's really
unheard of.
something.
And the one they lost was the Solon in overtime.
Yeah.
First game of the season, and
And
Well, then that Adams missed that field goal.
clunk.
Plunk had hit the post and
hit the
come out this way.
goalpost last
yes.
play of the game.
Yeah.
Right.
He was at a bad angle, too close. They should have taken a
bad
penalty.
angle.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Marv
the one
admitted it.
Marv blames himself
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Marv, if Regina wins their state title game on Friday morning, he and the seniors and the trophy will be here on Sports Opinion on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, next week. It's become kind of a tradition here at Sports Opinion. This will be if they win, the fifth year in a row that we've had Marv and his seniors and his trophy here on Sports Opinion. No other sports show can say that. What is the On Iowa on KCRG? They can't say that. Nobody else.
They'll have it the next week. They'll have it the next week.
I bet they don't. I bet
you're
they
right.
don't. So there's that.
Is he bringing all 5 of them?
All 5 trophies?
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
just the new one.
That would
That's
be
all we
kind of
need.
cool if they did.
That'd be kind of hard to put all those in one vehicle. It's hard enough to put the one state title trophy in one vehicle. They're big.
Yeah.
And we've got about 10 minutes, right, Joe Murphy? We've got 14 minutes, 15, 6. We want Pat to talk real quickly, no, I'm sorry, about the Hawkeye women's basketball recruits that Lisa Bluter signed last week. A week ago today was a letter of intent day, and she's got 4 new gems coming into the
Yeah,
fold
she-
next year.
Recruiting class is ranked 18th in the country by the people that rank recruiting classes. She's got 3 of the 4 who are ranked individually in the top 100 players. including a 5'4" point guard, Tania Davis from Grand Blanc, Michigan, which is near Flint, who's the top player in the state of Michigan and ranked 37th in the country.
That sounds
Wow.
good.
6'3" center, Megan Gustafson from Port Wing, Wisconsin,
6'3".
6'3" center.
We need that.
Yeah, this class includes some size, which we welcome.
Yes.
Port Wing is as far north in Wisconsin as you can get, right on the banks of Lake Superior.
Port Wing.
Yeah. She averaged last year 29 point some points, 13 or 14 rebounds, and
Wow.
of course she's just getting ready to start her senior season.
She might grow some more.
It's possible. Yeah, girls are, well, you need to know them personally to know whether that's a chance or not. And the other two are both 6'2" forwards, one a power forward, one potentially a wing forward. The wing forward is a name that Iowa basketball fans will recognize. Her name is Tegan Larson. She's the younger sister of Cody Larson, who Todd Licklider recruited. And when he left and Fran came in, he's
Went to
one of the
Florida.
people that bailed. Went to Florida, ran into some difficulty down there.
That's one way of putting it.
He got arrested for burglary.
Yeah.
And he, with or without Billy Donovan's encouragement, left the team. And interestingly, he's now playing his senior season at South Dakota State. He went back home. He played last year as a junior and performed well. Well, anyway,
What city are they from?
Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls?
Sioux Falls, South
South
Dakota.
Dakota.
Anyway, Tegan is 6'2" forward.
Jeez.
And Hannah Stewart is the other one, who's from Minot, North Dakota, a place that I spent part of a summer as a special prosecutor
Really?
many years ago.
Do you have fond memories of Minot?
Well, I do. I sent a lot of people to jail. A lot of airmen who, and a few sergeants who didn't
Drunken
want.
escapades?
Well, no, they didn't want to work on the fighter jets. It was sort of a blue flu type slowdown, and
So you threw him in
the Air
jail.
Force wanted a
Yeah.
judge advocate from another base to go in and put a stop to it, and I did.
So we've got a
But
player
anyway,
from
this-
Michigan, and
Michigan,
Wisconsin, and
Wis-
both Dakotas.
both Dakotas, yeah.
And big women, except for the
6'3",
point guard.
6'2",
Yeah.
6'2", 5'4".
Yeah.
What about women? What's the average woman that you consider tall?
6
Well,
foot?
I say 6'9".
Well,
no, there aren't many 6'9" women.
no.
Oh,
Alyssa
Michigan-
DeHaan.
Michigan State had one
Yeah.
who was pretty good.
6'5"?
I'm at 5'9".
6'5" would be,
I think 6 foot is considered tall for a women's basketball player.
Yeah.
Me, that's just me. Pat?
Oh, I don't, you know.
I think when
I've
you get
always
to
wondered.
5'10" or 11,
Why, yeah.
women consider themselves tall.
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
true,
My
yeah.
sister's 6 feet tall.
But if it.
Oh,
if
you're
we
tall. What, you're 6'2" or
6'3".
3", aren't you?
Notice the volleyball, anyone that's good in volleyball is
Joe?
a real tall woman or two.
Well, let me just wrap
2
this
minutes.
up by saying Lisa is also almost finished with the year following recruiting.
Wow.
She's got verbal commitments from Amanda Olinger, who's an all-state volleyball player and
Okay.
will be
Yeah.
an all-state basketball
Okay,
player
that's
at
what I
Cedar
was
Rapids
thinking about.
Jefferson. Mackenzie Meyer, who will be an all-state basketball player at Mason City. And a teammate of Tania Davis, Alexis Civilian, who plays at Goodridge High School outside of Flint, who's 5, 7, or 8, and a guard.
She's
And
got it
with
going
those
on.
two recruiting classes, besides size, we're also getting some diversity.
Good.
That's good.
We need
Yeah.
that.
You see
Yeah,
on the
that's
bench this year, only one
Yeah.
black face,
Yeah.
and one of next year's recruits and
Good.
her teammate from the following year are both black. And that's been
Good.
frankly a need.
Yep.
Yeah, that is.
And we're
true.
going to need to wrap it up because we're out of time because Joe Murphy's looking at me very evilly. But looking forward to the big game Saturday versus Wisconsin. We finally get a 2:30 start. It's always great to have Pat White on the show, and we look forward to many more returns from him. On behalf of Bob Boyd and Bud Supel and Earl Murphy and Pat, I'm Dirk Keller, thanking you for watching Sports Opinion every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on Channel 18 every Sunday night at 6 p.m. on the same channel, or you can go to patv.tv and see all of our shows there captured for posterity. Thanks for tuning in, and remember this, either you're a Hawk or you're not. Go Hawks, beat the dirty, stinking Badgers. We don't need no Badgers.
Amen.